going to show you a little bit of some groundwork, and I just want you to focus mainly on my body language. And I also want you to watch it through one more time and really focus on Wheatie's expression, licking and chewing of his mouth, and when he drops his head, and you can really focus on what are the things that makes him relax and what are the things that make him stay tense, head up, staring. I just want you to watch those little particles and try to break those down into little steps. So I'm just going to move him around me a little bit here on the ground and pay attention to my body language and when I drop my countenance and when I raise it and how he responds. And then sometimes I'll just stand there and I'll just offer him I'll just console him a little bit if I maybe put a little pressure on him and he seems a little stressed. You'll see me console him, and you'll just see a lot of things change. So hope this helps. So I'm going to offer him to go with just that, and then I'm going to support him with just this hand. If he didn't get going, I might even tap him. But it's going to be the last thing that I do. I'm not going to just start off tapping him. When I want him to stop like that, I'm sending that rope around as he goes. And then all of a sudden I want him to stop, so I'm going to pick up on that rope. I'm going to stop that forward movement. And I'm going to kind of motion my hand back towards his hindquarters, because I'd like for him to disengage his hindquarters to stop his front end. And I want that to get real soft. So when he stops, if he gets a little too much in my space, I'll just set him back. And I'll just remind him where his place is when I'm working with him. So I'm going to wait, and I'm going to help him. And I'm going to stop that forward motion. If he gets a little too close, see how his nose got a little too close to here on my elbow? I just felt crowded a little. As I was waiting for the hindquarters to disengage, I just did a little forward bumping motion here, and that helped him disengage and set his body back a little bit. So now you'll see me drop my countenance. I cock a leg, drop my shoulders. I might even offer, reach up, and console him a little bit. Just want to let him know that he did a good job. Now I'm not going to let him eat, because he didn't do that good of a job. Just kidding. So I felt like his shoulder might have been going to come in on me. So I really focused on that shoulder and asked him to move away. See, he didn't move there, he moved away. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of forward motion, and I'm going to motion towards that shoulder. When he rounds his body out, I'm going to drop my countenance. So I'm going to round that shoulder. I'm going to do this until it happens. See how it didn't happen right away? I'm going to get it. He already did it, but I wanted you to be able to see. So I'm going to focus towards that shoulder. When that shoulder starts to move off the right way, I'm going to drop my countenance. And that's his reward, taking that pressure off. If I pick up and point towards his hindquarters and he doesn't, and he just wants to keep leaking through with that shoulder, you might see me bump on the halter just a little bit, reminding him, hey, get stopped. I'm not pulling on the sleeve rope, I'm just pointing out that way, and then I'll help him if he needs some help. If the front end keeps coming, you'll see me bump him a little bit to help him get stopped. Might do that several times until all it takes to stop him is just barely lifting my lead rope. time at all to stop his feet. I didn't even have to bump him, and you see how he acts. He knows. He knows he did a good job. He was reaching out to get his consolence. Now I feel like he's a little too close to send him again, so I'm just going to bump him back a step or two. I'm going to send and I'm going to help. Shoulder got a little too close, so I asked it to leave. I bumped him a little because he wanted to keep moving off with his front end. So I'm going to drop that. There he relaxes. He took a breath. You couldn't hear him, but he took kind of a gulp breath. These are some of the reasons he has become spooky, is because he hasn't had that type of relief of pressure. So the pressure has stayed on, and he's had to learn to kind of exist in that little bit of pressure. He understands greater pressure, but he hasn't understood no pressure. So he gets a little lost when there's no pressure. He just needs to get used to it. He's about to fall asleep now. So I might do something different. I got his attention, and I just maybe will set him back to the end of this lead rope. When I'm done sending him back, I drop my countenance. And you can see he relaxes. So maybe I'll try to work him from way out there. If he doesn't go, he doesn't understand, I might walk in towards his shoulder. This is when it'd be helpful to have a flag or a longer lead rope. He kind of didn't understand that. If I wanted him to keep going, I'd keep my hand out, but not up so high. If he got slowed down, I might lift my hand. But as he got picked up speed, I'd drop that again. I have to show him, yes, that's the right answer. And the only way to show him that's the right answer is to ease off of the pressure. Good boy. Good boy. If you do some of this groundwork, this is going to relax him a lot. You don't really need to move him to warm him up before you ride him. But this little bit could go a long way for keeping him from being tight and prone to spook. So, good boy, Wheatie. You might try moving him off from the front end also. As he makes a step, I drop my hands a little. Do it from over here. Get on this side. I typically put the lead rope in my left hand or my inside hand so that if he got a little too far forward, I could bump him back a bit. So with each step that he moves the front end away, I'm going to drop my pressure a little bit. Moving the front end around the hind end actually creates a lot of respect for you from your horse, because it's a submissive position that he has to be in. So he kind of wanted to nip at this lead rope, so I'll just move him maybe a little more aggressively. So I moved him a full circle, and then I let him come down. I don't want him to eat on my lead rope while I'm working.